17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead. Stopped it, Harper's on it, behind the screen. Harper got a piece of it, it comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship, and it's their 2nd three-peat.
How's it going, Utah? GM Superb Man here, and it's time for us to start up our next GM mode commentary with the Utah Yetis. We decided on the name the Yetis. I really like it, like the logo, like the colors. I love the roster. I love how many draft picks this team has. So I'm really excited about this GM mode, and residents of Utah, do not worry. You can rely on GM Superb Man to deliver a championship to your great state. The Utah Jazz haven't been able to get it done. Let's see what the Yetis have in store. So if you guys notice, we're here at April 19th, 2024. That's not the beginning of year number 1. That's actually the end of the regular season. The playoffs are just about to start. I thought it wouldn't be right to start the GM mode at the beginning of year 1 with Utah. I mean, they're not going to be in the NHL till 2024, 2025. So it's the first day of the playoffs, essentially. GM Superb Man has just been hired. It's my first day on the job, and we're going to set it up for year number 2. So our first year is actually going to be the 24-25 season, not 23-24. And this is where we've branched off into our own separate universe, right? In reality, you have the playoffs going on right now, but in this reality, we're branching off a little bit differently. But this is where I came through for the fans. If you look, all 16 teams that have made the playoffs in this alternate reality are the same 16 teams that made the playoffs in real life. I painstakingly simulated the season over and over and over again to ensure that we had somewhat of a realistic playoff run that we're going to be saving for episode 2. We got a lot to do here in episode 1, right? But we're going to be able to simulate the playoffs to see who the Stanley Cup champion is in 2024. Oh my God, it took me forever. But all those 16 teams are in the playoffs, okay? So I think just to get you guys up to date with this universe, I should show you guys the stats for year number 1. Just imagine that the Utah Yetis are still the Arizona Coyotes right now, right? So with the draft lottery, I've come up with a rule because there's no way for me to show you guys that I didn't cheat to ensure that I got the draft lottery selection. Whatever the draft lottery is, if I win it, we're going to trade it away to the San Jose Sharks to give them the first overall pick. But the way it is right now. The Carolina Hurricanes at the top. Where did the Utah Yetis finish? 21st. So we have, like, what is that? The 11th or 12th overall pick. Now, in real life, the Utah Hockey Club have the 6th overall pick. In this universe, because I had to simulate to try to get all the damn teams into the playoffs, we ended up being 12th from the bottom, all right? So our draft pick this year is not going to be as good, but like I said, it's an alternate reality that we're living in right now. All right, so let's take a look at this roster, see what we got, and see what our options are going forward. It's my first day in office. I gotta see everything. I gotta know what we have on paper before I can actually take a look at what we have on the ice. So let's start from the back end, the goaltender situation, right? So you got Ingram. What's his first name? I forget. Connor Ingram. There you go. Connor Ingram, 27 years of age, 85 overall. Exact starting goaltender. Not too shabby. $2.4 million for another 2 years after this. Remember, we're in the 23-24 season right now. We're not done this season, so when I get hold of him, he'll have 2 years left. And then we have Karl Vejmelka. 27 years of age, 82 overall, backup goaltender, and he's going to have 1 year left when we get to the offseason, all right? So nothing too spectacular there for the goaltenders. Any prospects? Koronen, a medium starter goaltender, 68 overall, 21 years of age. Yeah, so nothing much in the elite terms of goaltender prospects. We'll see how good Ingram simulates. Nothing too spectacular there. And then defensemen. Ooh, here we go. So this is what I like about this team. A bunch of guys in either their early 20s or mid-20s. No superstars. And what I mean by superstars, if you look at the major M's in this game, right? The McCarrs, the McDavids, the McKinnons, the freaking Matthews, mid-90s, all right? 93, 94, 95, 96 overall. We don't have anything like that. We do have Clayton Clutch. We'll get to him in a second. But all of these other guys, like top 6 forwards, top 4 defensemen, it's looking good. Now, Durzi has to be extended this year. I'm not going to offer any extensions just yet. This first episode, I really want to look at the YouTube comments and also the Discord comments, all that stuff, to see what you guys have to say. So this is really going to be like a prep. I want to wrap my head around what we should be doing. But Durzi, that's about right. I mean, I wouldn't mind paying Sean Durzi what, like 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. Hell, you can even go up to 8 years if you want to sign him. 7.3 is a little bit much for an 86 overall, but we don't really have much else, and I love the youth there. Mosier, Yetis, Jerome. This is gonna be brutal. I'm gonna have to learn all my hockey names again. I'm gonna be using NBA names. It's gonna be rough. But this is another guy, 23 years of age, 84 overall. I mean, and this guy's a lefty. Durzi's a righty. I mean, I could sign both of these two guys long term. How much does he want? Go 8 years with him at 5.9. It's not bad. Travis Dermott, all right. Kesselring, he's got a fantastic name. Valimaki, Brown, Soderstrom, 23, top 4. I don't know, is he going to grow? Let's take a look at who's in the system. Schuber, 76 overall, medium top 6, medium top 4. Lamoureux, maybe something there. Medium top 6, 7th defenseman. All right, so nothing again in the elite category, but still some pretty good blue chip players up here, just below superstar, but those 2 medium top 4 defensemen, I'm liking that. And then the forward core, so there he is, Clayton Clutch Keller, the best player on the team, 89 overall. Now you can say, well, John, he's a superstar. In this game, man, you want the true superstars, you got to get to the mid-90s. So he's certainly serviceable as a first liner. His role is first liner. He's got the gold X factor. Great offensive awareness, and those numbers are what I'm going to be looking at a lot this year, offensive and defensive awareness. I got my eyes on those. I'm going to be trying to build a team that really centers around those two stats. We're not going to negate other stats, like the shooting stats are impressive as well, skating stats. When older players get older, they slow down, but yet they still simulate well. Lots of different things that we got to worry about. But Clayton Clutch Keller, no doubt a good player. How many more years does he have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my God! So he's on a 5-year deal right now. He might have actually signed a longer one before this year. We're done the 23-24 season, so he's got 4 seasons left. That's perfect, right? We can use him for a year or two, and if it doesn't work, we can end up trading him and get a boatload back. Nick Schmaltz, 85, $7.2 million a year. That's a little bit much, and also he's only going to have 2 years left, so not much there in terms of a trading asset or a piece for the future. Michelli. I'm going to say Michelli. For some reason, I'm thinking Michelli. 23 years of age, 84 overall contract. He's an an RFA at the end of it, so we have his rights, so we don't have to worry about the contract length with Michelli. Logan Cooley. All right, so here we go. Clayton Keller had the medium elite as well, but he's already 25. You don't have too many more years of growth there. He's basically hit his ceiling, right? Cooley, though, at 19 years of age, 83 overall, medium elite. I mean, if you go to the NHL entry draft and you draft a guy first overall who comes in at 18, at already 80 overall, that's good. This guy's already on pace to be an absolute star in this league. Now, in this universe, he was able to get 71 points in 82 games played in his rookie season. So Logan Cooley simulating quite well. Offensive awareness already up there at 90. I like that. Good skater. Not the greatest shot. Good passer, so he's a playmaker, yeah, but he did have 25 goals on the year. So if we can build a team around that guy, center, what's his faceoffs like? 72, not great. Maybe I want to turn him into a winger. We got to worry about chemistry. We got to worry about all that in the future, right? But that's your main guy. That's your main piece right there. Lawson Krause, 83 overall, 26 years of age. He's got some years left, all right, so serviceable. Nick Bjugstad, depth piece. He's only got 1 year left after this year. Dylan Genther, Mr. Golden Goal for Canada, 21 years of age, 82. See what I mean about Cooley? He's already better than Genther with 2 years younger. I mean, he might be turning 20 soon. I don't know. Genther might have just turned 21 as well. But if we can develop Dylan Genther and Logan Cooley, there you go, right? Your left wing sniper and your center playmaker right down the middle. This guy was drafted 9th overall in 2021. All the prospects in the pandemic years have been struggling just because, I mean, geez, we had like a gap there where they couldn't even really play. But now that we're back, these guys making a name for themselves, looking to break out and become true NHL players. So if we give ice time to Cooley and Genther, find a right wing for them, you know, maybe it's Clayton Keller, then 2 playmakers with a sniper. I don't know what I want to do just yet. Go down the list. Lots more depth. Here we go. Josh Doan. This would be, is it Shane Doan's son or is it his nephew? I think it's his son, right? Shane Doan, I mean, Mr. Arizona Coyote, and now his son Josh Doan, drafted by Arizona in the 2nd round. So, good player here. Playmaker, can we develop him into something? Another right winger, another playmaker. So, I'm already starting to see a playmaker trend on this team. Clayton Keller's a playmaker, Logan Cooley's a playmaker, Josh Doan's a playmaker. Is that too many? Barrett Hayton, now here's an example of a guy drafted 5th overall in 2018, but like I said, the pandemic, right, really slowed down the development for a few of these players. Should we hold on to him? Should we part ways with him? At 23 years of age, I don't really like his stats. And would he still have some sort of low top 6 potential? I don't even know if he'd have any trade bait, any trade value with something like that. McBain, O'Brien, and then we take a look down there in the system. Low top 6 for Smith, Douglas, Geeky. There you go, Connor Geeky. When did we draft this guy? 11th overall in 2022, a power forward down the middle. He's got medium top 6 potential. Perhaps we could turn him into something. McCarthy, Kirkland, Ratty, Bo, and yeah, not much. So not much waiting down there in the system. They're pretty much playing their young guys already. But if you take a look at all the skaters, I mean, Clayton Keller, you can figure out what you want to do there. But Cooley, Genther, Michelli, maybe Krause is 26. I mean, these guys are all young players, right? They're all young. And then even like a Dursey, I think if we take a look at the overalls, Keller and Dursey, they're both 25. Michelli's 23, Moser's 23, Krause is 26. If I could find a way to get these guys playing, we might be able to have competitive hockey in year 1 for Utah. And that's kind of what I want, right? So that brings us to what should we be trying to do with this team? What are our options and what should the direction be? Do we want to blow it all up and just try to get 1st overall picks in the next few years, just rebuild immediately so we can turn this thing into a dynasty? Do we want to try to replicate what Vegas and the Seattle Kraken did in their expansion years? I realize we're not an expansion team, but both Vegas and Seattle made the playoffs in their first year. That's a great way to entice your fan base. You don't want to come out losing. You want to come out winning. And the Arizona Coyotes, in real life, actually didn't have a horrible year. They were actually in the playoff hunt. I think it was up close to the trade deadline. I might be wrong on that one. And in this alternate reality, like I said, 12th worst team. I mean, 84 points on the year. We simulated decently. I think we actually can start trying to compete in year number 1 for the 24-25 season. Now, because we're here at the NHL playoffs, I can't actually bring up the trade screen, so I'm just going to bring it up. I've already recorded this from the past. It's the exact same universe, don't worry. But if you take a look at all the draft picks that we have, we only have our first rounders, which could be good, but man, a boatload of second and third round picks in the next 3 years, right? So if we can draft well with those, or if we can flip those at the draft for other players who are the same age, mid-20s to younger 20s, I think we can turn this sucker around right away. If Cooley becomes an absolute stud, we can just surround him with good depth. You might already be able to make the playoffs in year number 2. So, what do you guys think we should do? If I'm looking at this team, I'd like to compete. I would. I'd like to go for it right away. Why not? I mean, we could trade away Clayton Keller. We could trade away Sean Dursey. We could trade away our goaltender, Ingram, because he was 85 overall. But what are you going to get back? Some first round picks for some playoff bound teams? I think we should get aggressive with this one. I really do. So let us quickly take a look, now that we're back here, our draft board, right? So for this year, I already showed you guys this. For this year, we have our first, we have 3 seconds, we have 3 thirds, we have 2 fourths, a fifth, sixth, 2 sixths, and a seventh. Now, in the past, in other NHL games, the year 1 and year 2 entry drafts, it's not that they're weak. It's just that there are actual real players that they've put in the draft. By the time you get to the 3rd and 4th year, the only players that are popping up in the draft are computer-generated players. And that's where you can really find some gems, right? So I got to figure out what we can do with this year 1 draft. If we take a look at the draft class for year number 1, there's going to be one thing that you notice, and that is we haven't really scouted at all. All right? Because this is my first day, the Arizona Coyotes really didn't put too much effort into scouting these players. So with all those 2nd and 3rd and 4th round picks, I mean, we're basically guessing, right? We can use our first rounder, which, I mean, might be top 15. I forget where it was, 12th or 11th. And if we win, we're going to either trade it to the San Jose Sharks or trade it to somebody else. We're not going to allow ourselves to get the first overall pick just because I don't want you guys accusing me of rigging the draft lottery, right? But definitely some good players here. Junior Jansevsky, Junior Jansevsky, left wing, 5'8", from Kuku Kovula of the Finnish Liga. There you go. What is that? He's from Denmark, right? Can't really take a look at his stats. I don't have him uncovered at all. You got Sean Sogkas, left defenseman. Oh, man, the name pronunciation is already getting good. Berkeley Catton, a center and left winger. You got Ludvig Lundin. So, actually, I think these 3 guys, Jansevsky, Sogkas, and Lundin, are all computer-generated. But then you got Berkeley Catton, Caden Lindstrom, Tij Aginla, son of Jerome. Oh, my God. Sam Dickinson. But if I sort by medium elites, it's only the guys in the top 10, and we're not going to get those picks, right? And then you don't have anything. Like 2 bars. I mean, we could take some guesses here, right? 1 bar, and there's not even any. Oh, there's some gems right there. All right, so Jekko and Desro. Desriso. 37 and 48th overall, so second rounders. I don't know, but again, we don't have them uncovered at all. I can maybe start scouting. I can put some time and effort in, but I don't know. Top 6s. There's not even any low elites. There's not even any medium top 4s. So we are in a bit of a situation right here for the year 1 NHL entry draft, right? Now, we're going to be getting to the year 1 NHL entry draft in the next stream, or in the next video, so I want to make sure I know what to do. So you guys comment away down in the YouTube comments. Anything and everything, any potential trades. I know you can't see anything right now, but still, what direction should we be headed in? Because if I'm taking guesses with our 2nd and 3rd rounders, I would much rather flip those for any NHL talents with good contracts and that have youth. Because if it doesn't work, then I can reflip them for more 2nd and 3rd round picks, all right? So that's where we're going to leave it, ladies and gentlemen. And if we advance a few days here, the NHL season is complete. We can leave it right here, and I will show you guys what the playoff tree will look like in this alternate reality, okay? So in this alternate reality, in the West, you have Colorado versus Nashville, Dallas versus Edmonton, LA versus Vancouver, Vegas versus Winnipeg, New York versus New York, Carolina versus Washington, Toronto versus Tampa, Florida versus Boston. Like I said, all 16 teams that made the playoffs in reality are all the 16 teams that have made it into this alternate reality. It was going to take way too long for me to get the actual matchups and the right seed, so to hell with that. but that'll be a good way to start episode 2, all right? But remember, boys, I want you to comment away. And also, if you're still here, subscribe and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss any videos going forward, and you don't want to miss any of the streams if you want to catch it live, all right? Also, our fan art for the Discord is now open. You can find some logos for the Utah Yetis if you'd like to create your own fan art. We're going to be doing a lot of that going forward. And I can't wait to help bring a championship, a Stanley Cup championship, to the great state of Utah. Let's get this sucker started, boys.